Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle from PJs and Pages, and today I am so grateful to my friend from Cat and Too Many Books for tagging me in her Bridgerton Reading Tag. I absolutely love Bridgerton. I have read, I think, 5 or 6 of the books in the series, and then of course I've watched the show. Hot take, I like the show more than I like the books. Don't come for me, but it's really good, and the books, while they are very good, just don't. The show and the books are completely different. So if you're planning on reading the books or watching the show based off of one or the other, just know that they're very, very different. Of course, they follow a similar plot, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I'm here to do this tag today, and I'm so grateful that she tagged me because it is there's such fun prompts. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. I've got my stack of books here, and we're gonna go through them. So the first prompt is Lady Whistledown Whispers. Share a book with a gossip-worthy plot or a scandalous secret. And the book I want to recommend is The 3 Lives of Kate K by Kate Fagan. This one follows an author who goes by the pseudonym Kate K, and it's basically like a kind of like a biography that's written from different people's perspectives, like almost like interviews from different people put together to make this vignette of who Kate K is. And it goes through the 3 different names that she has gone through in her life and why those names have significance. And she's hiding the secret, and that's why she's going by a pseudonym. And the whole book is finding out what that secret is. It's scandalous. There is intrigue. There's jaw-dropping moments like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. So it is really good. It's one of my 5-star reads of this year. I just recently finished it. It's been on my mind since I finished it. I cannot get it out of my head. Definitely recommend The 3 Lives of Kate K by Kate Fagan. The next prompt is The Regency Ball. Pick a book with lush descriptions, for example, balls, parties, or nature. Now, I don't think this shows balls, but it does have a very lush setting, and that is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This book follows our main character, Noemi, who is living in Mexico City in the 50s. She is this party girl. I think it actually starts while she's at this glitzy glamorous party, upper crust society, and her cousin marries this white man, and he moves her into the country, and she's been isolated, and she sends her this strange letter, and Noemi is very concerned for her cousin, so she decides she's gonna go visit her cousin at this strange Gothic manor in the country with these white people, and there is something odd and nefarious happening, and the descriptions in this are so lush. Just the descriptions of the manor and the like outside areas, there's lots of mushrooms. It's very, very descriptive, and while it doesn't take place in a ball, it does take place in some kind of manor setting, so I think this fits the bill for this prompt. Next up, oh, actually, also lush settings is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Actually, I want to say it's the whole series. So the whole A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. The descriptions of the different courts is so lush and beautiful, and we also in this one have descriptions of the wild, raucous, deranged parties that Amarantha is having under the mountain. So we have that kind of ball setting as well, and those are very descriptive. This series follows our main character, Feyre, who unwittingly kills a fairy, or sort of unwittingly kills a fairy, and she is dragged into the fairy realm. It has been separated between fairies and humans to keep basically the humans safe. And she is dragged back to the fairy realm where she has to deal with some of the court intrigues that are taking place in that realm. It's very good. highly recommend, but definitely fits the bill for lush ballroom type settings. All right, next prompt is Dueling Gentlemen. Choose a book with a rivalry between two characters or groups. So in this book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, we have two main characters. Let me remember their names, Araya and Rain. Araya is a human who has been living in a vampire world, a world ruled by vampires, where humans are not safe. Rain is a vampire, and in this vampire world kingdom, there is this Hunger Games-esque, like, competition, for lack of a better word, where, you know, they have to duke it out to the death, and it's dangerous. Obviously, Araya is a human, and she decides that she is going to compete so that way she can win a wish from this, like, goddess or whatever of the vampires. So that way she can become a vampire herself, because her father, or her adopted father, is a vampire, and she would like to be one of them. So anyway, Rain and Araya are rivals in this competition, and they actually end up teaming up together in order to survive and win, but obviously there can only be one winner. So they are definitely rivals. This is a steamy romantasy. I absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend it. I have not read, it's a series, so there's I think there's 3 books in the series now and a novella. I've only read the first one so far, but I cannot wait to get to the second one. All right, the next prompt is the Diamond of the Season. Select a book featuring a strong, independent female protagonist. And for this one, I am going to recommend Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Daisy Jones is 1000% that strong, independent female character. She knows who she is, she knows what she wants, she's a go-getter, she is a complex character, she is not all good, not all bad, and she is a singer in like I think it's the 70s, I don't know, it's basically like the Daisy Jones and the Six end up being like this band like Fleetwood Mac in the 70s. They become very popular, and this is their story. It is told in an interview format. Daisy Jones is one of the main characters. She is one of the personalities. So she is a singer who is both beloved and hated on. The Six are a band that she joins up with, and she is a strong female main character throughout the whole book till the end. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was absolutely stunning and beautiful. The way that it was written is phenomenal. It won the Book of the Year with Book of the Month, and for very good reason. Highly, highly recommend, and Daisy Jones will be my strong, independent female character. The next prompt is Family Intrigues. Recommend a book with complex family dynamics or secrets. And for this one, I want to choose Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I don't know how to say this last name, I apologize. But this one follows several families, actually, 2 main families. We've got the Richardson family and the Warren family. So we've got the Richardsons, who are this white family living in Shaker Heights, Ohio. They are just what would seem the perfect family. Their mother is, you know, just the perfect stay-at-home mom. And then the Warrens come into town, and Mia Warren is, I think they're a black family if I'm not mistaken, or half and half. And so they come into town, and her daughter befriends this family, this white family. And there's all sorts of mention about different types of families, and the Warren family has a big secret, and the Richardsons are always having secrets. So very good story. It starts with like this fire that burns down a house, and you kind of go backwards from there to get to why the house is burning down and who may have done it. So Little Fires Everywhere, absolutely wonderful story, and definitely has family intrigue. So the next prompt is Love in the Air, name a book with a swoon-worthy romance. And for this one, I want to recommend The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This one is the third book in an interconnected standalone series by Helen Huang. I can't remember what the name of the series is. Hold on, let me see if it says it here. I don't know, but it all has to do with this family. They're all interconnected. And this one follows our main character, Anna Sun, and Kwan Diep. So there's Asian rep in this one, and there's also rep about the autism spectrum disorder. Now, Anna has become, she has been diagnosed with autism as an adult. She's obviously very high functioning. She's gone her entire life not being diagnosed, and now as an adult she is being diagnosed, and she is reconsidering everything in her life. Kwan is this tattooed motorcycle rider. He is just the man, and he also has a very big heart. His brother actually has autism, and so he really connects with Anna, and they try to be friends with benefits. They try to have a one-night stand, and they keep having one-night stands with each other. And their romance is so swoon-worthy. The way Kwan loves Anna through all of the things that she is going through and experiencing, being newly diagnosed with this and reassessing her entire life, is just so beautiful. Made me swoon. Absolutely love this one. This is my favorite in the series, but honestly, all three books in the series are phenomenal, and the main male characters will make you swoon. All right, the next prompt is High Society, find a book set in a glamorous or aristocratic world. And I had a really hard time with this one because I have books on my TBR that I think will fit this, but I haven't read them yet, so I can't say for sure. And obviously, any historical Regency romance type book will probably do, but the one that stands out to me because I read it the most recently is Keeping Up with the Cavendishes by Maya Rodale. I will put a picture right here. But basically this is a series about these Americans who inherit a dukedom. They end up traveling back to England, and they are thrust into society by the Duchess and trying to make matches among themselves. There are balls, there are all sorts of high society things happening, and obviously they came from a horse farm and are now in society. There's whites, there's I can't remember what's that other place. I can't remember. It's where they go for tea in the afternoon. But it is very glamorous, especially for these Americans who have never been in such lush, glamorous society before. Now, caveat on that, it is not my favorite Regency series. It is a lot of fun. Each one of the books is kind of like a remake, or not a remake, what is that called? A retelling of a popular 2000s rom-com. So the first one is Lady Bridget's Diary, and it is a retelling of Bridget Jones' Diary, which is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. So it's a retelling of a retelling. It's cheesy. And then the last one, Ladies Claire is All That, is a retelling of She's All That, which is actually one of my favorites. But once again, very cheesy. So while I don't not recommend them, I think they're fun. I don't highly recommend them. Don't come at me and say, oh my God, that was the worst thing you ever read. Why would you recommend that, Danielle? Because I'm not recommending them. I'm just not highly recommending them. All right, that was my caveat. Anyway, next up, we have letter writing element. Recommend a book with an intriguing or pivotal letter writing element. And for this one, you probably know which one I'm going to recommend because I've recommended it a bunch, but it is Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is one of my favorite duologies ever. It follows our main characters, Iris and Roman, and they are rivals at a newspaper. A newspaper? Yeah, a newspaper in this almost 20s or 40s-esque landscape. But there's a little bit of magic, there's gods, and basically there's this this war happening between these two gods, and the humans in this world are being conscripted, and they are writing about this war. Iris decides to go on to the front, and while she is doing that, she has a secret pen pal. She writes these letters to them on this typewriter, she slides them under the door, and then she gets answers from her. It's magical. You just have to go with it, and it works. The letters are so romantic, and it turns out that the person that she is writing to is Roman, her rival, and he follows her to the front, and their romance ensues, and they still write letters to each other in both of the books. So the letters are vital to the plot. So Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. It is the Letters of Enchantment series by Rebecca Ross. I absolutely love this series. Highly, highly recommend. Next up is Grand Ball. Name a bookish event like a book convention or author signing you'd love to attend. So this one, actually, I literally just found out about one. When I lived in Miami, we had the Miami Book Fair. I loved that event. If I could go every year, I would go. Columbia doesn't have one. So where I live is South Carolina, and I live close to Columbia. And so I thought that it would have one because it's a capital city and it's a big city, but it did not have one until this year. One of the libraries systems in Columbia is setting up this free book festival fair thing called Columbia Read Freely, and I am so excited about it. I really cannot wait to go. Apparently it is also kid friendly, so I can bring my son, which makes it so much easier for me to actually go. I am so psyched, so I will definitely be attending that. But another one that takes place in South Carolina is Y'all Book Fest, which is on the coast, I think Charleston or somewhere around there. And that one is actually a YA book fest, and I know last year Tracy Dion spoke there, the author of Legendborn, and other very popular YA authors attend this. And while YA is not necessarily my favorite genre, I do have lots of YA books that are my favorite. So when YA is done right, it does it really right. So very excited about all three of those, and if I could attend all of them this year, I would. Next up is High Society Intrigue. Pick a novel filled with gossips, scandals, and secrets, just like the ton in Bridgerton. So this one, I was trying really hard not to do the same books as Kat, so that way you could have different recommendations. However, for this one, I'm gonna have to go with some of the ones that she recommended because I honestly could not find other options. So the first one I'm going to recommend is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one follows our main character, Evelyn Hugo. She is providing this in-depth interview. She is this very scandalous movie star from the 50s. Yeah, from the 50s. And her life has just been full of scandal. She's obviously had 7 husbands, and she kind of takes the interviewer through each of her different husbands, why she married them, and the scandals that ensued because of those marriages. It is so good. You can see all of my tabbies on this. This book is phenomenal. It is so well done. It is juicy, and yeah, scandals, gossip, secrets, it's got it, and it is so good. Highly recommend this one. And then for something a little more contemporary and a little more, just a little more contemporary, we've got Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Now this one follows our main characters, Alex and Henry. Alex is the son of the US president. And Henry is the Prince of Britain, or English prince. I don't know how their royalty system works, if we're being honest. But he is a prince, and he is the president's son. So they are thrown together quite frequently at, national events. But they hate each other, supposedly. And they end up having this clash at this big event, and their I mean, they caused this huge scandal, so scandal. And they are thrown together. They're told, okay, in order to fix the international relations situation that you have created, you guys are gonna become besties. You're gonna pretend to be besties. You're gonna go horseback riding. You're gonna play golf. You're gonna do all the stuff you're gonna do together, and you're gonna put a smile on your face. You're gonna make all of this go away. And in the process, it turns out that they both love each other, and it's so sweet. But obviously, I think Alex in the story is openly bi, but Henry, obviously, because he's a royal and it's a very conservative nation, that is not okay for him to be in a relationship with a man. So their relationship has to remain under wraps. It has to be a secret. It is gossipy and juicy and so, 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 so good. So Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston is my last recommendation for that one. And yeah, that's it. I did it. That is the Bridgerton Reading Tag by Cat and Too Many Books. If you are interested in doing this tag, highly recommend it. It's so much fun. The prompts are so great. And I am going to tag 3 friends, Summer at Summer Sayre, and Suba at Suba Reads Books, and Daphne at Being Daphne. I would love to see your responses to this tag, guys, and also just anybody who sees this, I would love to just put it out there because I think it is a really fun tag. If you have recommendations for me based off of these prompts, please leave them in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I've got for you. I will see you in my next video. Bye!